What's in a name? Juliet may have argued that a rose would smell just as sweet no matter what you call it. But when it comes to demons and dangerous creatures, a name can be a powerful disguise. A sinister entity with an eerie foreign-sounding name, like Belphegor or Mephistopheles, immediately raises red flags. But what if the danger comes from something named Emmy, Leonard, or, believe it or not, Furfur? Hardly sounds terrifying, right? Some of the most menacing beings in mythology and folklore hide behind the most innocent-sounding names. In this video, we're gonna talk about why, and I'll introduce you to 7 deceptively named entities you wouldn't want to cross. Hi, I'm Alina. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're hiking through the wilds of Scotland, you might hear a warning to beware of the bean nighe. Don't be fooled. This isn't advice about avoiding a protein-packed snack. Instead, it's a chilling reminder to watch for a ghostly woman washing blood-stained clothes by a stream. Bean Nighe is no ordinary washerwoman. With her rugged appearance and eerie webbed feet, is the restless spirit of a woman who died in childbirth, Scotland's own harbinger of death, much like the Irish banshee. According to legend, the garments she scrubs belonged to those doomed to die soon. If you ever spot her, the best advice is to stay unseen. But for the brave or reckless, there's a bizarre way to turn the encounter to your advantage. If you manage to sneak up on her and, brace yourself, suckle from her withered breast, you can claim to be her foster child. Do that and she might just grant you a wish instead of sealing your fate. Throughout history, monks and priests, men devoted to their faith, have likely feared spiritual failure more than death itself. Their greatest danger wasn't a mortal threat, but the ever-present risk of temptation. Yet, according to old folk tales, temptation didn't always come from within. Sinister creatures known as Abbey Lubbers were said to lurk in monasteries, disguised as ordinary figures waiting to lead monks astray. These demons of deception haunted abbeys, particularly the wine cellars, whispering indulgent promises of greed, drunkenness, and debauchery. Some legends claimed that Abbey Lubbers targeted monks who had already faltered, ensuring they tumbled further into damnation. These eerie tales gained popularity in 15th century Europe, a time when many monasteries had grown wealthy and indulgent, perhaps too much so. In a world where the line between righteousness and corruption blurred, stories of demonic tricksters offered a chilling reflection of the church's own struggles. If you're heading to Ireland instead of Scotland, you won't have to worry about crossing paths with Puss of the Corner, also known as Puss and Chewin, or the dreaded Cat. This fearsome creature was the eldest son of a relentless old witch who had an unusual hobby, burning down the same castle every single night, no matter how many times it was rebuilt during the day. Cat met his match in a legendary Irish hero, Finn McCumel, but defeating this monstrous foe was no easy feat. True to his name, Cat had the head of a cat and a terrifying resilience, so much so that even after having his flesh torn from his body and his head severed, he still refused to die. It wasn't until Finn had a vision that he discovered the key to stopping Cat for good: the witch's blood. As luck would have it, she was already on her way to save her son. In what was said to be the most epic battle of all time, Finn fought and beheaded the witch, all while Cat's severed head continued to sink its fangs into his chest. Only when Finn smeared the witch's blood over the monstrous cat's remains did the beast finally perish. The Killakee Cat, another cat, or the Beast of Killakee, is one of Ireland's most terrifying supernatural legends. Witnesses describe it as a massive black cat, as big as a German shepherd, with blazing red eyes, which I don't know about you, but to me it sounds cute. Though others claim it sometimes appears as a grotesque, misshapen dwarf. This monstrous entity haunted Killakee house so relentlessly that even an exorcism couldn't make the place livable. The house was once a gathering spot for the notorious Hellfire Club, a secret society steeped in dark rituals and hellish revelry. Club meetings famously began with a toast to the devil himself, who, according to legend, made several eerie appearances. The group was rumored to engage in sinister acts, including gruesome sacrifices. One particularly horrifying ritual involved dousing black cats in alcohol and setting them on fire. One chilling tale recounts how during such a ritual, a priest barged in only to witness a demon bursting forth from the burning cat's body. Another grim legend tells of the group torturing and murdering a little person, and in 1971 the remains of a small adult or child were actually unearthed on the property, fueling speculation that the horrors of the Hellfire Club may have been all too real. Despite his deceptively adorable name, Furfur is anything but cuddly, and he is definitely not a house cat. This fearsome fallen angel holds a prestigious rank in hell, serving as an earl who commands a staggering 26 legions of demons. His appearance is as striking as his power, a nightmarish fusion of man and stag, with the head and hindquarters of a red deer, a human torso and arms, and massive bat-like wings that allow him to take the skies. To top it off, his tail is eternally ablaze. Furfur wields the ability to summon violent thunderstorms, but under the right condition he can also be an invaluable source of knowledge. If summoned within a protective triangle, he assumes a radiant angelic form and will truthfully reveal divine secrets and abstract mysteries. But beware, if he is summoned outside of this safeguard, every word from his mouth will be a lie. Also, if you're still watching this video, first of all, thank you for sticking around, and second of all, subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Some demons have names that in modern English just don't sound scary at all. One big reason for this is that some names have been widely adapted for other more innocent uses. Take Amy, for example, a sweet and familiar name, often ranking among the most popular girls' names in the US. But centuries ago, Amy wasn't just the name of your friendly neighbor or best friend. It belonged to a formidable president of hell. According to the Pseudo-Monarchia Demonum, a 16th century directory of demons, Amy commands a terrifying 36 legions of demons. If you were unfortunate enough to encounter him, you'd first see him as a raging fire before he shifts into the form of a man. But Amy isn't just another menacing fiend, he has ambitions. The Dutch demonologist Johann Weyer described him as a troubled soul who actually longs to return to heaven. He believed that in 1200 years he will reclaim his place among the highest angels. Weyer, however, was skeptical. His take? The day will never come. Most people know about Satan, and thanks to Freddie Mercury, plenty have heard of Beelzebub too. This too reigns supreme in the infernal hierarchy, their names etched into legend. Lurking in the shadows of hell's power structure is a lesser-known demon with a surprisingly ordinary name, Leonard. Maybe it's his unassuming moniker that kept him out of rock lyrics and folklore. But don't let that fool you. Leonard holds some serious influence. As the Inspector General of Sorcery, Witchcraft, and the Black Arts, he keeps a watchful eye on all things occult. More infamously, he's also the Grand Master of Sabbaths, presiding over wild demonic orgies and banquets. His usual form is a half-god figure with 3 imposing horns and eyes that burn like fire. But things take a turn for the truly bizarre when you learn this. Leonard is said to have a face on his backside, which witches are required to kiss as a sign of their devotion. Hell's underworld is full of strange figures, but Leonard might just be one of the weirdest. Lilith, unlike Amy, is undeniably female, but that doesn't make her any less terrifying. A powerful figure from Jewish folklore, she's infamous for stealing away children, seducing men, and striking fear into those who cross her path. According to legend, Lilith was actually Adam's first wife, created before Eve, But when she refused to submit to him, she fled the Garden of Eden, choosing exile over obedience. God sent 3 angels to track her down, and when they found her hiding in a cave, surrounded by her many children, they delivered a cruel ultimatum. When she refused to return, they slaughtered 100 of her offspring every day as punishment. Yet Lilith remained defiant. In her rage and sorrow, she turned her vengeance toward humanity, stealing newborns, causing stillbirth, and becoming a dreaded force of death. To many, Lilith remains a demonic figure, a cautionary tale of rebellion with a deadly price. But at the heart of her story is something deeper. Her original sin was not murder, but independence. For this reason, some feminists reclaimed Lilith as a symbol of defiance, strength, and female autonomy, transforming a feared monster into an icon of empowerment. The relationship between El Tío, the uncle, and the Bolivian miners is as mystifying as it is dangerous. His name implies a sense of familiarity, almost like he is family, and at times he's generous enough to allow miners to leave the treacherous depth, not just with their lives, but with a hefty load of silver. But there's a dark side. Miners must never show fear of him, because the punishment for doing so is more terrifying than the fear itself. El Tío is said to be a killer of those who tremble before him, devouring their very souls. Often depicted with the devil's features, horns, and glowing red eyes, he is a figure of dread and reverence. Miners worship him by leaving offerings of cigarettes, alcohol, and coca leaves at his statue, which stands guard at every mine entrance as a stark reminder that they are entering his domain, the underworld. Before they can claim any of the precious metals, they must first seek his permission. But nothing comes free in this dark pact. The cost is always the same: their soul. Farmers in Eastern Europe, beware. Skipping your lunch break might just lead you to an encounter with Lady Midday, known also as the Noon Wraith. She's a restless spirit who holds the noon hour sacred, demanding a pause from work. If she catches anyone laboring during this time, she has a deadly way of making her disapproval known. Her legend weaves through the folklore of Russia, Poland, Ukraine, and Serbia, with a few key details remaining the same. A single touch from her hand can spell doom. Cloaked in a flowing white robe, Lady Midday is often seen gliding over fields on a wind, her appearance shifting depending where the story is told. Some say she is youthful and beautiful, others claim she looks older and more unsettling. If you happen to see her, whether you're working or not, resist the urge to chat. According to some versions of the tale, she'll talk endlessly, punishing anyone who dares to turn away. In other versions, she expects you to engage with her on one subject for a full hour, or answer her tough questions. Fail to meet her expectations and you might find yourself seriously ill, injured, or worse. So, next time the clock strikes noon, make sure to take a break, or risk crossing paths with this deadly spirit. Thank you for watching, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!